When I've been asked about the things that I value in my life, I like a bit of quiet time. You know, for all my inhibitions and dancing and the things that I love, I do like a bit of quiet time. And many people have described me as a bit of an introvert, and you know, I love dear Henry very much, but sometimes I just need some space by myself to do the things I love. So I spend a bit of time in here on the throne just thinking about life and postulating about the great mysteries and thinking about, you know, where I'm going to go after it all finishes. And one thing I really hope is that I'm with my dear Henry, because I value his love and I value the things that we've enjoyed over the years. But if I was to look at perhaps the biggest value I've had in my life, that's just the value of being somebody who wants to devote time to others. It's very important to me.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. I mean, something I value, I tell you what. Doing forward flips are crusty demons. That's what I value on my little moped over here. So let me show you a bit of footage of me doing just that. Here we go. Roll the tape.
Let's do it!
That actually was me, no joke, just last week. Anyway, in terms of values, I mean, things that I value, well, I definitely value my stats. It's something that should be in a museum as far as I'm concerned. It's definitely something that, you know, sets me apart from everyone else, everyone else except maybe Charlie Chaplin, but pretty much everyone else. So I value that. I mean, you know, one thing I like to do, and, you know, let me be serious for a second here. I really like to volunteer. I like to help others out. Helping others out is probably one of the things that I really love to do. And I know I value it because, you know, with any value, if you don't spend time on it, it's not a value. So I value volunteering, and it's something I like to do wherever I can. It's one of my values.
Yes, well, Henry, what does awaken mean to us?
Well, I mean, it's a great question. I mean, all of the questions so far have been great. I feel like I'm on Andrew Denton.
Oh.
Andrew Denton.
Who's that?
He's a young chap on TV. He wears glasses, much like mine. So what does awaken mean to me?
Well, I tell you what awaken means to me.
Okay.
I think it's rather a good thing if I awaken in the morning, because at my age, you just don't know. So I figure if I wake up, then I can smell some pretty funky things and hear some, you know, sleeping, snoring groans from next to me and feel that bristly moustache scratching on my shoulder, then I'm still alive and the good Lord is yet to take me.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's the very same thing. I mean, probably not at the same time, but I definitely think it's the same thing about awakening. But I mean, you know, we've seen a fair chunk of life in our lifetimes, and you know, the young people might relate to this, and not all of that's been easy. You know, some of it's actually been quite difficult.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, if I was to think of awaken, I would probably think it's time for us, even in our twilight years, to really become alive. So to even look at our life and to think, maybe it's time for us, even as old, you know, senior citizens, to awaken ourselves.
Absolutely.
That's what I think.
That's beautiful, love.
I think I've been practicing that. Did I rush it? No.
Yes. No, it was perfect.
Okay.
And you know, I think as I look back on our youth and when we met, actually, what would you like to recount the story of when we met?
Well, I mean, you know, chime in if I screw it up, but you know,
right.
When it comes to how we met, I mean, it was an amazing time for both of us. I mean, I was down at the local RSL, minding my own business, and it was during the war, so there wasn't much food there to be eaten, but you know, I was minding my own business, and then, you know, who should walk in but, you know, a shining, glittering princess who I would later find out was this lady just here.
Oh, stop it. He's so lovely, isn't
This
he?
one, that's it. I remember actually exactly what I said to you when I walked up. I walked up to her, get this. She's sitting there sipping a pina colada. I walk up to her and I say, hey, I just met you, and this is crazy. Well, here's my number. Can you call me maybe?
And you know, it actually took me about 3 years to call him back because we didn't have a wireless telephone in those
I
days.
believe the old rotary dial. It took so long to dial someone.
It did. But, you know, we finally called and rekindled that flame from that day at the RSL.
And here we are,
Here
so
we
there's
sit today.
200 years later, and look at
Not
us
quite
now.
200, love. It's been 58.
50 actually.
Yes. But, you know, it's really lovely that you mentioned that I was glimmering on that day. And, you know, I wouldn't describe myself as being overly beautiful, even back in those days. You know, I think I was attractive, but I wouldn't say I was a supermodel. Anyway, but you know,
Opinion, I think.
yeah, well, you know, you've always been sweet in that regard, dear Henry, but I think the thing that really helped me glimmer back in those days was recognising that I actually had something to offer.
Right.
And I think if I was to be asked in my old age, after many years of living in this world, what does awaken mean?
Yes, yes.
I think I would like to take this opportunity to say to the young people at the National Student Leadership Camp thingo at that place
On
near
the
the beach.
conference on the beach.
Yes, I would like to tell them that you all have something very special and very beautiful to offer, no matter what you look like, where you come from, what your schooling experience has been like, what your family life is like at home. You are all wonderful young people.
Absolutely.
And there is something inside every single one of you that can awaken and awaken others. And I just encourage you to find what that is and live out of it, because you're all fantastic young people, and this country needs young leaders like yourselves.
Unbelievable, it does. I mean, the old